Hi guys, Generation Defenders here, and welcome to my second podcast where I'm going to be answering some of your questions. Keep in mind, this is a pre-recorded podcast. I am not live at the moment. In fact, I'm probably at school or working when this is going to come out, but just letting you know, because last podcast I saw some people trying to ask me or talk to me during my podcast, and I wasn't responding because I was working at the time, so so sorry about that. Hopefully, nobody took that personally, and if you did, I'm sorry. But now that that's out of the way, let's just get into some questions with this first one that I really like. Hello, good ma'am. Are you going to explore a new form for Trunks? Will you be having Goku learn to be more responsible with Goten after Goten Black is dealt with? Oh, and any thoughts to voice actors? All right, so for the first part of the question, Joe and I actually still kind of want to use Super Saiyan Rage for Trunks, just because, it's his new canon form in the Goku Black arc, but in our version of this, we're actually going to explain how Trunks is going to get his Super Saiyan Rage. And because that was a big issue in the anime, Trunks just got this transformation that just came the hell out of nowhere. I don't think in the anime they really named it. Somehow we found out later on that it was called Super Saiyan Rage, but Joe and I, we're actually planning on using, or at least explaining how Trunks is going to get Super Saiyan Rage. And the way that we want to do is that in the manga for Goku Black, Trunks actually trained with the Supreme Kai. And so we're thinking that maybe when Trunks was training with the Supreme Kai of his timeline, he can he found certain tricks from the Kais to maybe find a way to get Super Saiyan Rage, and Vegeta in the Superbolic time chamber is going to keep pushing him to find a new form, or to get a form that can be on par with his Super Saiyan Blue. And let me see, as for your second part, will Goku learn to be more responsible with Goten? Yes. Goku will learn how to be a better father to Goten, or at least be a little bit more attentive, or in a sense keep an eye out more for Goten, because after what when Goku learns what happens to Goten Black, he is going to feel more responsible, or shit, maybe I really should take things a bit more seriously. But that's going to happen a little bit later into the story. Right now we're still pretty much at the beginning. I would say in chapter 6, that's when we'll get to act 2, or the middle of the story, but right now we're still in the beginning. So yeah, that's pretty much what your second part is. And as for your third part with voice actors, honestly, I would really, really love to get voice actors or somebody to voice the comic. However, I do not have the money to pay voice actors. Actually, I do remember that in one of my videos, somebody did ask if they could do their own version of a voice comic dub, and I said sure, but they haven't replied, or so far I haven't noticed anybody trying to dub my comics. But if you guys want to do your own voice dub for my comics, I give complete total permission for you. The only thing I would ask is 2 things. 1, please put a link into your video towards my channel, or at least give me some sort of credit for it. And number 2, please send me a link, because I really love seeing what you guys sort of do with this stuff. There's this fan that's actually making a fanfic for me at the moment about my story, and so far I'm really liking his version of it, which I'll probably link to it in the description. But yeah, I can't really afford voice actors right now, so if you guys want to do it yourselves, go for it. Like I said, just follow those 2 rules and we should be okay. All right, so next question. Why do you want to make Goten Black? When the pandemic hit, I was actually helping my friend Too Fast Joe with his videos, and at the moment when I was helping him, both of our channels were like at around 50 subscribers, I believe, and when I was helping him, his channel started to grow, which sort of motivated me to want to get more subscribers too, I guess. Like, Joe and I have like a really friendly rivalry about like who's going to reach 1,000 subscribers first. So far I'm winning, don't tell him that. But let's see, like, I remember when Joe and I were actually in college together and Goku Black came out, or I think after that saga ended, I was talking to him about like how I really was thinking that it was going to be Goten. Like, I was one of those fans that thought that Goku Black was actually going to be like Goten revealed to be evil, or like somehow he was, felt betrayed by Goku or something like that. But I really, really thought that it was going to be Goten because I just wanted Goten to have something. Because like right now, Goten is kind of like a forgotten character in Dragon Ball. Like in the Majin Buu saga, like I think that was like his best. Like that was peak Goten, but even then he didn't have that much to go by. He was just kind of like Gohan's little brother, or if he wasn't with Gohan, then he was with Trunks, who was like, his best friend. So Goten as a character himself doesn't really have much going for him. And like I said, like after the Majin Buu arc, his character was just completely like forgotten. It was like the writers just sort of like looked at him and was like, ah, shit, like, yeah, Goku has a second son. He's just with Chi-Chi, and Chi-Chi won't let him like train because she wants him to be a scholar, which is like Gohan's entire conflict when he was like a little kid. But I mean, like, even Kid Gohan knew how to rebel against Chi-Chi once in a while. Goten, he's just he'll just do whatever, like I guess what the plot demands him. If the plot's like, you know what, Goten, you're sitting this one out, Goten's gonna be like, okay, and just goes to the corner just to be forgotten. Because like even in like I said in the last podcast, I mentioned that in the original Goku Black saga, Goten just fell asleep and he was not used at all. And then like Trunks' new sidekick just became the Pilaf gang, and they just completely ignored Goten in the saga. So I was thinking to myself, what? Maybe they're just sort of like building it up that when it is revealed that Goku Black is Goten, he's going to somehow come back into the story, and then like maybe him and Trunks are going to have like this really weird rivalry after the saga ends, and maybe like Goten will have like some sort of purpose, or they'll do something with this character. But no, it was revealed that Goku Black was actually Zamasu from another timeline, and I'm like, okay, as long as you do something clever with it. But I didn't like how the saga ended, which I'll talk about later for a next question. But I guess going back to this question, but yeah, like ever since college, I've always sort of loved the idea that Goku Black was actually supposed to be Goten, and I still sort of kept that, even though like a lot of people were like, nah, that wouldn't work because Goten's too nice, or like that wouldn't work because like Goten's too pure of heart. And I'm like, yeah, but that would be like the whole, interesting conflict with him. It would be like a cool story for him to go through, and to like even think about like, am I destined to be evil? Am I destined to be, can I change my fate somehow? And I wanted that for this character because like there's really nothing you can do with Goten. Like if you think about it, in GT, freaking Pan and Goku Jr. has more character development than freaking Goten. Like, really think about that. Goku Jr., this one character that shows up in GT, like, for a few seconds, got his own freaking OVA, and Goten has nothing to go for. Like, I was really disappointed with that. So one day during the pandemic, I just random idea, because I saw that, like, my channel wasn't growing at all, and I guess one day I just went, I guess, back to, like, my fan fiction and decided, you know what, why not? There's a lot of, like, what ifs out there. What if I just make my own version of Goten Black? And that's what happened, and the rest is history. Alright, so next question. Will Goten Black meet his present self? And if so, how would the former react to the later? Alright, so this is a spoiler question, which I did write in the community tab. There will be no spoilers, but I will try to answer this the best I can without spoiling the story, because, like, what's the point of me telling you what's going to happen in great detail, and then when the time does come, it's like, well, I already knew that was going to happen. But enough rambling. So I do want the present Goten to sort of meet Goten Black and be a little freaked out that somehow he became evil. That's pretty much all I can say for now, but I believe, like, in a few more chapters, maybe in 2 to 3 chapters, Goten and Goten Black will be able to, like, actually meet each other somehow. Just give it 2 to 3 more chapters. Alright, so next question. I know you haven't decided on a definite ending yet, since there are so many possibilities, but do you want Goten Black to still be alive by the end of the story? Not necessarily redeemed, but not killed alongside Zamasu. Maybe they both get sealed away? I don't know. Also, is Goten Black immortal? Is Zamasu referring to him as God supposed to be metaphorical because of his power in baptism? Alright, good question. So, I actually have 2 ways I want to end the story. One ending will lead to the next saga, which it will be like my version of the Tournament of Power. And another ending would just, like, end Goten Black as it is, and then I'll be done with, like, Dragon Ball stories whatsoever, because I don't know, like, personally, I want to make my own stories. Like, when I graduate college, I want to, like, work on, like, other animation films, or, like, maybe somehow make my own animated series. But if I don't know, like, I guess depending on how I feel by the end of Goten Black, I'll choose which endings I want. As to what those 2 endings is, I can't say, because I don't want to spoil anything for you. Sorry, that's just the rules that I've set out. Okay, so your second part of the question, if Goten is immortal, no, because Zamasu would never allow that to happen. Zamasu did baptize Goten because it'll be easier to, like, control him when he's, like, you know, more evil or a little bit more chaotic, for him to do, like, you know, his bidding. But Zamasu would never allow Goten to actually be immortal, because Zamasu has to be the one with, or he's like the top god in his version of, like, a perfect world. Like, Goten would be, like, his second command, but he would be, you know, the ultimate god. As to why he calls him a god, or, like, god of justice, or even later on the divine god of justice, it's his way of grooming Goten into becoming, like, the monster that you see in the future. The ruthless killer that doesn't, you know, seemingly doesn't care on who he kills. Which, it's kind of like his way of keeping Goten under his spell or like under his control, but also like, you know, showing away his care for him, because like he is his student and he is raising him, and that's just sort of like his way, also in a weird way, showing him his version of affection, that you are the god of justice in my new world. So that's the reason why Zamasu like refers to him as God. Not because like he's immortal, but because he's just training him to become the god that he wants him to be. All right, so next question. I want to see if Goku can redeem this Goten or die trying. I know that Goten do not have the divine key of Weiss's training. So last part, you are right. He does not have like the divine key that Goku or Vegeta have, like Super Saiyan Blue wise. However, with his baptism through Umibuzu, that will help him like reach our version of Super Saiyan Rose later on. So with the whole redemption thing, like that's actually what we want to do too. Like Goku is going to try and see why Goten's like this and why Goten is evil, and even when he does finally like figure out the truth, he's going to still want to find a way to redeem Goten even more, because he realizes that's my fault. Like I made this. Like if it wasn't for me, then he wouldn't have gone through this anymore. But will he succeed? That will be, you'll find out later out in the story. I think it would be interesting to see you do an original content series. After finals or when you get finals, would you do it? Also, what would you do as an original content story? I really like this question. You see, like, as I stated before, one of my biggest dreams is to like make my own TV show, and that's actually what I tried to do on YouTube first, like before I actually got into college. And I started making this show, or at least like this comic series called Generation Defenders, and I thought, well, maybe if I took I don't know like what I was thinking. I think I was just like a naive kid, but if you looked at my old videos, they are bad. They're really, really bad. The voice acting is horrible. The sound is horrible. The art, terrible. I've come a long way in the sense of like my art skills, but I'm not really proud of those videos. I'm proud of what I did with Goten Black, because I did improve, or at least like I actually put in more effort into that. Like, my original videos, I thought that maybe I could do like a One Punch Man type of routine where it's like the art is so, looks so silly that somehow like people will go to it ironically, like how One Punch Man somehow managed to become popular, but it didn't happen. I would not recommend you guys to do that. If you guys want to make your own stories, put in the effort, get good at art, and actually, you know, put something that you want people to like look back upon. I don't want people to look at my old videos actually. But I guess like it was a learning experience for me, I can say at least. But the story that I really want to make, and like I guess my real passion project, would be, I guess, Generation Defenders. That's the name of the comics I was trying to make. And you know what? It was actually based off of this other fan fiction that I made from Dragon Ball GT. And I made it in high school. And it was kind of like my own version of GT, or some sort of like weird rewrite with GT, where it's like instead of like Goku, Pan, and Trunks goes on like the Grand Tour, it's actually like they're kids that go on the Grand Tour. Like Pan would still go, but then it would be like maybe Goten's son would have gone, and then like Trunks' son would have gone on the Grand Tour, and it would be like this really weird but dark type of adventure where they have to find the Black Star Dragon Balls, but also meet like a bunch of other aliens around the way, and also find like maybe other half-breed Saiyans along the way too. But I guess like when I was originally going to make that fanfic online, for some reason something told me, let's make an actual show about this, because I really, really wanted people to like see it, and I really, really wanted people to like get excited for it. But I think like I'll finish college and actually get some more experience with like, you know, working in shows or like animation, or to basically have more experience, so that way I can actually make a show that I can be really proud of. Like I want to be like maybe the new Avatar, or like the new Owl House or something like that, where I can be in Comic-Con or like be in panels and a bunch of fans can like ask me questions like the creators of Steven Universe or Owl House are doing now. Like that's like my biggest dream at the moment. But I don't know, like I kind of want to like finish Goten Black first, so that way you guys don't have to wait on the story for long. That's what I want to do first. But I really like your question. I actually really appreciate that you want to see something that I actually wrote, or something that's not based off of somebody else's work. I think that's very flattering, and thank you for your question. All right, so for this one, I'm actually going to combine two questions because they're actually pretty similar. The first one is, can you, if you want or can, do a story Gohan become evil, not Goten Black, but he just turned evil, like losing control, what he became Super Saiyan 2, and thank you. And this other question, after this Black series, which will probably take 2 years to complete, lol, will you do another what if comics like what if Gohan kept training, or what if Gohan became evil? Edit, sorry for the Gohans, I was just giving ideas. He's my favorite character. I love him. No homo. Okay, so as stated before, I'm not really that big on continuing like Dragon Ball fanfic. I kind of want to be able to create like my own stories soon, but if I do end Goten Black and I feel like I want to continue his story, then I kind of want to move on to like a new saga where it's the Tournament of Power, and it's just kind of like this excuse of giving him his own redemption arc where he's in the Tournament of Power alongside with Universe 7, and they're competing. But it's not going to be like the Tournament of Power where we see in the actual Super anime. In fact, there's not going to be a ring at all. It's actually going to be like them traveling to different universes. That being said, I still don't have like the kinks out for that saga, because this is more like a rewrite of the original Goku Black saga. We kind of like want to follow a bit of like the main points that the saga had, but also put in our unique twists and our unique, like, you know, spin on certain things. But with the Tournament of Power arc, or at least like my version of the Tournament of Power, it's going to take a little bit more liberties, or have like a little bit more imagination and a bit more like, I guess, freedom. Whereas this one is more trying to follow the pinpoints of Goku Black. But I don't really have much, I guess, passion for maybe other what ifs comics. Like if you want more what ifs, then I would recommend maybe Masako X's channel, or like maybe other like Dragon Ball content creators. But for me personally, I just want to be able to like finish Goten Black and hopefully be able to make my own stories later on in the future. But I do appreciate you guys liking my version of storytelling and wanting more. But unfortunately, I just don't really have the passion to make more Dragon Ball what ifs. All right, so next question. I would like to see Gohan go to the hyperbolic time chamber and then go to the future and have a fight with Goten. That would be awesome. So, I hate to burst your bubble, but we don't really want to add Gohan to the saga because we kind of want this saga to revolve around future Trunks, Goku, Goten, Vegeta, and Zamasu. Those are like the characters that we really want to focus on. And I believe if I put Gohan into the story, he would most likely become a little too OP, or he'll take away like the spotlight from Trunks or Goten or even Goku, which I don't want. Like what was great about the original Goku Black saga was that it seemed at first Trunks was going to get the wind compared to somebody from the Sun family. And I was really excited for that. But then the next episode was the biggest fuck you moment to any sort of fan I've ever seen in my life. So we kind of want to rewrite that part where Trunks actually is the main character of the saga, or this is Trunks's story, or he's going to be the one that has to show down between Goten Black. But if you do want to see Gohan going into the future with Trunks, I actually have to recommend this other Goten Black fanfic by Warp Star, where he actually does have Gohan go into the future with Trunks. It's pretty good, and it's actually an RPG type of storytelling, which I really enjoy. And speaking of which, does your channel avatar have a name, or is it you? Oh my god, guys! He noticed me! He freaking noticed me! Another Dragon Ball channel has noticed me! Guys, do you know what this means? We're getting more attention! Okay, so in all seriousness, Warp Star, if you're watching this, I'm sorry about that cringe. I honestly never thought about that. My little avatar, I never thought of giving her a name or putting much thought into her. I just decided to change my old YouTube icon to this Dragon Ball avatar that I just made up. But I guess for now we can just call her GD for short. I actually remember a fan giving me that nickname in one of my community tabs, and I like it. I think it's kind of cute. So I guess you can just call my avatar GD for now. Okay, so next one says, if Goten before Goten Black has Super Saiyan 2, then will he have Super Saiyan 2 Rose? Good question. As I said in my last podcast, I don't really want to make Goten too OP because I just don't want to fall into the trap of making him a Gary Sue or giving him too much power. However, if I were to continue the story into my Tournament of Power arc, I kind of want to have this version of Super Saiyan Rose where Goten has to sort of learn to actually control the power instead of relying on insanity, anger, madness, or just raw emotion. This version of Super Saiyan Rose is actually going to be more calm and more peaceful, which will not only contrast his present day Super Saiyan Rose, where it's insanity and corruption and he's constantly insane or angry all the time, but in his arc of being redeemed, he would have a more calming approach to this transformation and learn how to stabilize this new power that he has. It's not going to be Super Saiyan Rose 2, I believe that's what you called it. But the way that I sort of imagine it right now, where if you look in the original Super Saiyan Rose, the aura is purple with black tints to it. In Goten's more peaceful Super Saiyan Rose form, it would be pink aura with gold tints to it. But right now I can't really confirm anything because, like I said, I'm still sort of like working out the kinks of that saga. And that's if I even want to make that saga, you know? It's just, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's complicated. All right, so next one. Goten Black, a Saiyan with Supreme Kai in training. I'm sorry, I'm not really understanding what you're asking, but I'm going to try and answer it the best I can. If you're asking if Goten's like a Saiyan who's a Supreme Kai in training, then yes, he is. Like, he's that, because like in Chapter 2, he does say that, you know, he's Supreme Kai at the moment, so he has jumped from, you know, the ranks up to Supreme Kai. But if you're asking if he's like a Saiyan who is with a Supreme Kai in training, Zamasu, then yes, he is. Hopefully I answered your question. I'm sorry, I just couldn't really understand what you were asking me. Sorry. So the next question is, how long does it take you to do one panel? So it just really depends on the timing or, you know, what's going on in my life. Because if I don't have school and life is great, then I can make maybe up to 3 pages of the chapter. But if I have school or I have work at the same time, then it'll take me maybe 2 days just to make one page, which I know sounds like really long, but I can't really control the time schedule that, you know, my college or school or, you know, my job is giving me. And like I said in my last podcast, I really need to make sure I have enough money for the next quarter and also make sure like my grades are up. So I can't really afford to focus on anything other than school and work right now, both figuratively and literally. So that's one of the reasons why I don't really post like, you know, schedules or like, hey, expect Goten Black to be coming out on this day or to like come out on this month. What I can really like say is maybe after 3 to 5 months, if Goten Black hasn't come out yet, y'all can like, you know, start spamming me. What's going on? Like, where's the next chapter? Where's the next part? And I'll like maybe like explain, hey, like this is going on, or like right now this is going on, and maybe I can like do something like split the chapter in half, like how I did with chapter 5, which was suggested by a fan when I posted in my first community tab that school was getting harder. So just give me like 3 to 5 months for the next chapter. And if it doesn't come out, then I'll let you guys know what is going on. So just give me like 3 to 5 months at most. Alright, so next one is, how will Gohan, Trunks, and the others who live in the present react about the tragedy of Goten Black's story? That's a really good question. If you saw my last podcast, I actually talked about how I want there's actually 2 options on how at least Goku will react to hearing about Goten Black. But as for the others, I can't really say because, like I said, that would be spoiling, you know, what's to come. But I can at least say that they will feel horrible and they will feel heartbroken. But at the end of the day, Goten Black is still a villain. Goten Black has killed way too many people for his own good. And he needs to be stopped and he needs to be, unfortunately, put down. And that's pretty much all I can say. I think even just by saying that, I kind of gave away too much. But hopefully, like, when college is over, I can pump these chapters out a lot faster, guys. Just 1 more year, and I'm graduated. So just give me time. Well, that looks like that's all the questions we have today. Thanks for watching my Q&A podcast, and wanted to let you guys know that I am going to be out for a little bit. It's just some family emergency that I have to deal with, but in the meantime, hopefully, can't promise anything, but hopefully I'll get the next part by the end of summer or the beginning of fall. Like I said, don't quote me on this, don't quote me, but I'm gonna see if I can at least try, all right? Just don't quote me on that. This has been Generation Defenders, and have a great day.